Today's Seahawks video is a look at some potential notable cut candidates. I'm not talking about the fourth string offensive tackle because no one cares if they get cut. We're focused on players who could save the Seahawks some money and are notable names. Now, make no mistake, most of these guys would not be cut until closer to roster cutdown day, but it is a bit of a primer for names to keep an eye out for. Let's begin with Rashaad Penny, the running back who unfortunately has not lived up to expectations in Seattle. I have found it very curious that as deep as Seattle would appear to be at the running back position right now, they have continued to look at least the option of other backs, like Giovanni Bernard, for example, after the Bengals cut him. Now, Seattle, expectedly, chose to decline the fifth-year option for Rashaad Penny. Injuries have been a big point of this, but if he doesn't stay healthy again in camp or if he looks poor, like he kind of did last year, there's over $1.37 million in savings to be had here, even already factoring in the $2 million plus in dead money. When he's been out there, Penny showed talent. Over 5 yards per carry, nearly 1,000 yards on 161 carries, or nearly 900 yards, I should say. 5 scores as well. But the reality is for Penny, he's stuck behind Chris Carson. This is once again Carson going to be the lead back for Seattle. And if the Seahawks trust Carson himself to stay healthy, and they want to go cheaper with guys like Alex Collins, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, who we'll discuss in a little bit on today's video, maybe the monetary savings intrigue Seattle into cutting Penny. Because again, he didn't make much of an impact last year coming back from yet another injury. So I don't think Seattle would cut him. I think they're going to try and hope that one more year, this is the final true breakout year for Penny, and he contributes significantly. But what would you guys do? I lean more towards keep, but the monetary savings, I had to mention him. Get your votes in. K for keep Rashaad Penny, C for cut him, or type in T for trade. Let's go to Tre Flowers now, the cornerback who not everyone agrees. Man, that's quite okay. It's just an opinion. I don't think he's that great. I believe that Flowers is both fighting for playing time and also a roster spot as things currently sit for Seattle. Now, he actually offers the most cap savings if he were moved, traded, or cut. Just over $2.18 million. I rounded down on that one to get it to 2 decimal points there. That's some pretty good amount of money to be saved, especially factoring in that there's less than $75K in terms of the dead money in total. The cap savings, by the way, already factor in the dead money. No math required. You save 2.18 by cutting Tre Flowers. And he hasn't been great. There was a point a couple years ago where it seemed like, Tre Flowers, he played pretty well at the beginning of his career. Maybe he could have a breakout year down the road and become another late-round gem fined by Seattle in the secondary. I am unconvinced that's going to happen at this stage of his NFL career. And I think Seattle at least is open to the possibility of moving on because they have other corners. DJ Reed, not going anywhere. Akella Witherspoon, not going to go anywhere. Marquise Blair, Ugo Amadi, that safety nickel corner hybrid role who all listed as nickels for the time being. Blair won that job to start, then got hurt. We'll see how his rehab is. Pierre Desir, they brought him on a fairly cheap deal. He could also be a cut candidate if you want. Trey Brown's probably going to make this team as a 4th-round pick. We'll see about Demarius Randall, also very cheap. So if Tre Flowers does not impress, and if it comes down to, hey, you know what, Flowers, Desir, Randall, etc., Seattle feels pretty similarly about all of those players, the cheaper guy always wins. And for the first time really in his career, Tre Flowers is suddenly no longer the cheaper player. So what player do you want to cut? Get your votes in for me in the comment section. This question is the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. To the offensive line now with back-to-back players, actually. Jordan Simmons, who has been pressed into duty in recent years and showed some flashes, I should say. With the way the offensive line is built, I wonder if it might actually end up being down here to Jordan Simmons and Phil Haynes. That might be your little roster video or roster battle there in the end between Simmons and Haynes there. And again, money matters. That's the whole point of this video, right? Cut Jordan Simmons, you save $1.1 million. Pretty decent amount. The dead money is $100K. So again, there's not a lot of investment committed here to Seattle. And last year, in a little under 600 snaps, so not quite a full season, but enough that it's worth discussing here, right? 3 sacks, 2 hits, 12 hurries from the interior offensive line. His run blocking was not particularly good. With Seattle thin at center, they might choose to keep Kyle Fuller. That would leave, of course, multiple tackles on the roster. Lewis Jackson not going anywhere. Would they carry 4 guards or would they carry 3 guards? That's kind of the discussion here that needs to be had. Now, Phil Haynes, once again, is not healthy. Well, then Simmons might end up making it more by default. But with $1 million in savings, $1 million plus in savings, that kind of matters for a team up against the salary cap. Now, we want to remind everybody that when you initially subscribe to us here on YouTube, the default is actually to set your notifications to personalized, which means it's not set to all. And if it's not set to all, which, by the way, over 3/4 of you have it set to personalized, you will not be notified every time we do a video. We got them coming out almost every single day. But on personalized, you're going to miss out on stuff. You will miss videos. YouTube will not send you a push notification, and you might miss out on an awesome video or breaking news. So if you want to know every time we have a video here for you guys at Seattle Seahawks Today, go change that in your settings. Just click the bell button where you subscribed initially and click it. It'll show personalized and then change it to all. It's that simple. Join the Noti gang here at Seattle Seahawks Today. Offensive line, part 2, Cedric Ogbuehi, who I will give credit, actually I thought played pretty well when he had to play as the team's swing tackle this past season. Now, the way his contract is set up, he is not a roster lock. Now, the cap savings, fairly significant, $1.42 million, at least relative to the guys we're discussing on today's video. The dead money, which is what the guaranteed money has already been paid to him, $350K. That's actually not that much. That's very cheap for a swing tackle, but it's also not indicative of a player who's guaranteed 100% to make this team, because they could move on if they wanted to. When he had to play, look, for a swing tackle with that, level of expectation and production, etc., it's fine. You're not going to move on from Dwayne Brown. You're probably going to keep Brandon Shell. Now, maybe if you go sign a Morgan Moses, you change your mind on Shell, but I think you're fine there. Jamarco Jones maybe ends up being a piece for you as a swing tackle, also has some guard flexibility. For the time being, the initial report out of the draft was Stone Forsythe going to be a left tackle, the 6th-round rookie out of Florida. If he is really, really impressive, and Seattle says, shoot, you know what? He can be our swing tackle right now. He can play left tackle and right tackle, which he did some at Florida. That might be the scenario in which Seattle says, okay, we can save the $1 million plus and go cheaper and invest that into an extension for, say, Jamal Adams. Folks, Chat Sports has a ton of different video channels available on the Newsbreak app, including us here at Seattle Seahawks Today. We are not even close to being in the top 3 for downloads this month. We are all the way tied for 8th. We're behind like the Michigan channel and other ones. So help us out and get more videos on the Seattle Seahawks and, of course, essential local news updates by downloading the app right there at the bottom of your screen. You see the link, right? chatsports.com/SeahawksNB. You got to put that link, by the way, on mobile so it can send you right to the App Store to go download it. I'll put the link for you guys in the comments section and in the description, but don't forget to use our link, chatsports.com/SeahawksNB. Help us out and support the show. Let's go to Travis Homer now, who I kind of mentioned Rashaad Penny earlier and teased these other backs. Seattle's got too many guys, and I went with Homer on this list because we'll talk about Alex Collins. I know how you guys feel about him now. If everyone's healthy, if Carson, Penny, Homer, Dallas, Collins, etc. are all healthy, I doubt Seattle goes 5 deep at the running back position. And you might be able to stash Homer on the practice squad, by the way. Now, he does offer some pass blocking value. I get that. But as a runner, 25 carries, 88 yards. He did have 9 catches for 90 yards and a score as well. But I kind of want a little bit more purely on the ground at that running back position. Now, I'm higher than, based on the comments when we did some trade candidates, higher on DJ Dallas than many of you, and we did our 53-man roster projection as well. Many of you are quite high on Alex Collins, and I'll make note that Alex Collins has 0 in dead money. His contract is you're going to come fight for a roster spot position DJ Dallas saves a little bit less with where he's at in his rookie contract. So I think all three of these guys in the end, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, Alex Collins, along with Rashaad Penny, are all fighting for a roster spot. Now, again, I'm higher on DJ Dallas. You guys made it clear you thought Alex Collins should make the roster. He could be included on this with no dead money, the exact same savings as Travis Homer. But it's all debate, it's all discussion there. Collins probably the best of these three as a pure first and second down runner. DJ Dallas, I would argue, the most third down value in terms of pass catching. And then Homer kind of more maybe in between some of those players in the end. So I would wager a guess that, again, if everyone is healthy, which they may or may not be, you're probably going to end up cutting one of those guys. Maybe it's Travis Homer, maybe it's Alex Collins, maybe it's DJ Dallas, and I'm not even including the UDFAs that not that many people care about. So pick one. Who are you cutting in the end? Type TH for Travis Homer, DD for DJ Dallas, or type in AC for Alex Collins. One last player here, and I'm almost cheating if we're being honest here. That's Nick Bellore, who his role in the offense, I don't really know what it's going to be. He's a special teamer. That's where he offers the most value. But I would not be surprised if for the third year in a row, the Seahawks decide, you know what, we're going to cut Nick Bellore. He's mostly a vested veteran. We'll bring him back at a similar contract, but we'll cut him at roster cut down day so we can get someone through initial cuts, then make some roster moves and changes there, and then bring back Nick Bellore. So I am totally cheating with this one. But it's also fairly likely. And of course, once we get to roster cut down day, you know we'll do a video on it. Make sure you guys are subscribed at youtube.com/SeahawksTV.